Hi, I'm Jorge Santos. I am the area developer for the Guildford region. Anything with a GU postcode. I am the fantastic services man for the entire region. Come from a different background completely in the services industry. I've now been with Fantastic Services for probably close to 2 years and really enjoying the challenge. I've been in the restaurant and the hospitality industry for a good 30 years, and I've always been looking to do something different. So yes, I was having run the restaurants and we stopped at the pandemic, and it was just time for me to kind of rethink exactly what I was doing, where I was going. And I think that was probably the ultimate point where I decided, a change is going to be good. And I started researching it, and Fantastic Services is the one that I decided to go with. Starting a business up on your own is always very risky, or you feel it's risky, you worry about failure, you're investing money and you want to make sure that it's going to be spent properly and that what you're doing every day is being, efficiently spent and you meeting your strategy properly. So doing it alone is also very lonely. I wanted to do it with someone that I could trust. I felt they had the know-how, could teach me a few things, and I could feel supported right through along the way. Whilst it is still a bit of a risk, it's a lower risk than what it would normally be setting up on your own. I use Fantastic Services quite regularly. I own a flat, and normally with end of tenancy or carpet cleaning, oven cleaning, handyman, anything I needed, I always just picked up the phone to one company. And it was really just as a customer that the carpet cleaner came in to do my carpets, and I was speaking to him whilst I was going through the transition of a new business to start, and he said, "Oh, actually, no, I've bought the franchise from Fantastic Services. I do London, whatever." And I thought, that's a good idea. Let me look into it. And he told me a bit about it, and straight away I phoned, made a call, and within a week we were already talking at a level in terms of what I could expect. Fortunately, they had a great area like Guildford available, and that's the one I went for. It did actually, because from a customer side, I knew exactly what kind of service or what level of service I expected. And in terms of, the automated message I would get, I would be able to pay my service on a link. So I knew exactly what time to expect them. They'd be keeping me updated. I just thought it's a great system. So from a customer point, I knew what the expectations were. And having met some of the pros working on the property with me, I was able to speak to them a bit about the services they provide. So always quite informed. The truth is, I do miss the restaurant industry. There's a great buzz and a sense of pleasure you're giving customers when you're serving them and they've enjoyed their meal, etc. So I do miss that aspect. But with Fantastic Services, it's similar. Although you're not giving them something to eat or drink, you're still giving them a good service, and you like to see that they're happy with it. Yes, it's very different services, but also two very similar services. So the answer is I do miss it, but I'm now doing something pretty exciting and I love the challenge. I think the home service industry in the UK especially is, I'd like to think, more in demand. People are realizing that they are time strapped. They do need some help. Everyone's working a lot harder. The know-how, be it a cleaning or professional clean, or be it your handyman, or be it someone who's doing your jet washing, etc. You do need some help, and the home service industry is hugely in demand. I do quite like the sense of a difference we make in clients' homes, especially where they are really, really excited once you've left. You've either cleaned up their property, or you've done their gardening service, or you've fixed something that they've not been able to fix for a long time. From a training point, we spend a lot of time training a lot of our professionals, and some have really got what it takes, and others really try so hard and haven't quite got what it takes. And I think that's what I don't like, because their intentions are so good, but sometimes they're just not as good, and we've got to kind of move on from that. So that's what I dislike about the job. We've got great support with Fantastic Services because their marketing department really assists us with that. They advise us what they think is best based on their experience. They would advise what certain amount of budget you should be spending or what would be realistic. Again, those are things that as a solo business owner, you would spend a lot of money on. There's a lot of assistance with the lead generation and marketing support, but you in Guildford alone or any region that you're at also need to know what your market is. And there are other marketing channels that you should be using in terms of trying to hit your target market. So as recommending, you yourself need to think about how to develop your market and what marketing you will use to attract more customers. I still refer back to it, but it was a great onboarding experience. I really felt confident after those 2 weeks that I knew a lot about the business and what the expectations were from me and what my expectations were from Fantastic Services. The initial start for me in recruiting, getting my first team on board, I think that was the biggest challenge, but I'm pleased to say that I'm over that and I'm moving forward. Joining Fantastic Services and representing Guildford needs to live in the area. So it was really important for me that they were able to transport themselves to clients without, too much of a travel time, because I had inquiries from people, living in a different county, wanting to work in Guildford, and it just didn't work unless they, lived closer. So I felt that my strategy was in terms of their location, their previous experience, and obviously whether they were invested or committed to invest in new business opportunities. The best part of being a partner is knowing that the opportunities are vast. You set up your services, you set up your teams, you start servicing your clientele, and you think, what's next? And the beauty is that with Fantastic Services, you can think of what's next within the same business model, and be it expanding your area or expanding your services or expanding the amount of franchisees and coverage or expanding the services. So that's really exciting. It's infinite. It just doesn't stop. So, and I'm sure in years to come, there are new services being added, as we've seen in the last 6 months. So yeah, the opportunities are endless. I think my background, parents with Portuguese parents and being born and raised in South Africa, puts me in a good stead, purely because I can speak various languages. I can communicate with different cultures. I feel South Africans themselves are very entrepreneurial, very go-getting, and always looking for a business. Portuguese, certain cultures there in terms of we're able to communicate really well with people from all levels, etc. So yeah, I think it's a good combination. By chance, I'm not saying that is the only combination, but yes, it works for me, and I'm sure it will work for many other cultures and nationalities. You want me to say it? Yes. Okay. Fantastic Services the best. Serviços fantásticos são os melhores. En fantastische diensten is the beste. I don't think it's changed my personal life. I'm still the same person. I probably work harder, or I think I work harder, but it hasn't changed my personal life. My day normally starts at 5:30 in the morning. I get up. It's good thinking time. So whether the sun's shining at that time of the morning, sometimes it does. I'm out there every morning, walk my dog for half an hour back home. Then I will probably hit my laptop to see what's lined up for the day, what bookings have come in, any little emails that I sort of need to send out quickly. I'll do that. And normally at about 8 a.m., I find time for myself, which I put in the diary. So whether I'll go running or I'll go to the gym or I go swimming or I go cycling, and that's how I get the day started. By the time I get back at 9:30, the emails have probably been responded to. I would have received a text. By about 10, 11 o'clock, I kind of think that my office work is pretty much done. I like to go over to some of the jobs with the teams, not every day, but just about every second, third day. If I can see their schedule's busy that day, I like to do spot checks because I, at the moment, do my own quality checks. So I like surprising them, but they expect me anyway, so it's no surprise anymore. And I just like to see how they're working, get a feel for the customer as well, see that they're happy, etc., which has taught me a lot as well about the business, rather than just getting the team out there and do what they should do. And then I'll get back to the office at about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'll spend another 3 hours in the afternoon. And normally I've blocked it out to either do corporate marketing, where I'm doing a lot of my own corporates getting on board, planning my own marketing strategies, my customer acquisition. And I normally finish at about 6 o'clock. I would be home, spend some time with the family, just relax a bit, and then normally in bed at about 10:30, 11 o'clock. Quite early, but then I'll also get up quite early. So that's about it. That's Monday to Friday. Weekends is probably slightly different. A bit more family and leisure time then. Well, I brush my teeth when I wake up. I'll brush my teeth after I've exercised. I'll brush my teeth after lunch, and I'll brush my teeth before bed. So there we go, 4 times. Any sport that's a team sport. So the obvious ones would be football, rugby, where you've got different people in the team doing different positions, different responsibilities to make the team a success. So I think it is either 11 people on the team or 15 players on the team. Then you got your forwards, you got your backs, you got your defenders, whatever it is. I think everyone plays a role. Well, the furthest distance I've run, and I remember it well, it was a marathon. I did the London Marathon last year, and it was the biggest challenge I've ever done to myself anyway, physically. It took quite a bit of preparation because I've had a few injuries before that and the year before that and whatever, and eventually I did it in pain. But yeah, I ran 46.2 kilometers. So, and I did that in a good time, I thought. My target time anyway, so I was happy with that, so yeah. This is a marathon and it's not a sprint. I don't think you can expect, the immediate results after, the 100-meter sprint. It takes a little while to get there. It might take a little bit longer, but it's still very rewarding, and it's still a great challenge, and you learn a lot along the way. Be sure that your heart's in it. It's definitely the right business you want to do. Franchise is a business model that you have to follow in order to be successful. It's not necessarily a model that is given to you and you will be successful. You have to work hard at it, and you will be successful. The answer is yes. Again, it's been a year full of learning, but it's been a great year, and year 2 is looking even so much better. So the answer is yes.